Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Taking Stock session, which is the second last session of this wonderful IGF2025 meeting in Norway. And I'm glad to see that many of you have stayed behind and are not enjoying the sun outside. The weather is wonderful today as well. As you know, this Taking Stock session is that we look back at what we did this year or this cycle and also this week, and we take note of what worked well, what didn't work so well as well, and things we may need to look into and things we definitely need to keep for our next IGF meeting, which I'm sure all of us believe will happen. Yes. First of all, let me just introduce our chairs. So we have Ms. Carol Roach from the Bahamas, Undersecretary in Ministry of Economic Affairs. Oh, it's changed. Yes. Again. Well, you can remind us. And then we also have Mr. Ole Martinsen. He's a policy director of the Digitalization and Emerging Technologies Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And then online, of course, we have Vince Cerf, who is the chair of the leadership panel. And just before I start, I think I need to get this out of the way first, is that I would really like to thank everybody that has been involved. It's been a really great, smooth working relationship with our Norwegian counterparts, with the MAG, which is the 20th anniversary MAG as well. So we had MAG members who were in WIGIG, MAG members who were last year as well. So we had a great mix of really dedicated people coming together to make this event really a great event. And I would also like to thank the interpreters, which are often overlooked. Really great work. Thank you very much. And of course, our scribes, the transcription service has been really excellent. And quite frankly, I also want to mention specifically Medved. We have never worked with such a great team. The technical side has been really smooth, and that is really much appreciated. So with that, I'll give the floor to Carol to say a few words, then Ole Martin, then Vint.
Right. And so Carol Roach, Undersecretary in the Ministry for Grand Bahama. So I just made a move. So great. And I just want to add to what Shangatai has said. Everybody has worked hard to make this session good. Norway has been absolutely fabulous, as well as the MAG. We cannot forget the MAG. They really came through. They worked long, hard hours. I'm in a different time zone, and when I wake up in the morning, there's like 100 messages on the chat. So a round of applause for the MAG members. Thank you very much. And of course, the LP. And of course, thank you to the participants for making this a very successful IGF forum. It's not the end, it's always just the beginning. Thank you. Ole?
Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming here, for coming to the IGF and coming to Norway and being a part of this. It's a great pleasure to hosting you all, hosting the IGF. It's a special thing to be a host for the IGF, because you're not hosting an event, you're not showcasing. Of course, you're hosting the IGF, but you're also trying to create a space or a venue where people can meet and where people can have good conversation and good real dialogue together. And that's what we've been trying to do here, and I hope we have. Our role as host has somehow contributed to it. And a second thing I also wanted to say before we look back on the week there or something, that it's been an honor to host a true multi-stakeholder forum like this, or maybe the true multi-stakeholder forum. And especially with everything that's going on outside in the world outside of this venue. Because we really believe that these forums and these spaces, they matter, it's important, it's meaningful, and it's important to look forward, as we have been doing this week, and it's important to look back and learn, but we think also that, or I believe that it's also important that we take the time to appreciate where we are right now and what we're doing, because this is meaningful and important and quite beautiful what we're doing here. So thanks to everyone.
Thank you.
Yes.
Vint, over to you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm sorry that I'm not there in person. I gather everyone has had quite a good time in Norway. Speaking of which, I want to remind all of you that the Norwegians had a very key role to play in the pre-internet period in 1973, while some of us were working on the ARPANET. The Norwegian Defense Research Establishment housed one of the first nodes of the ARPANET outside of the United States. It was at the Norwegian Defense Research Establishment. And I'm just thinking about my colleagues of that time from Norway, Paul Spilling, Ingvar Lund, Wolf Nordhagen, and Dag Belsnes. What would they think? Some of them have passed, and what would they think about the IGF 2025 in Norway? What a spectacular evolution this has been. Maybe revolution is the right word. I just want to observe two things. First of all, that the organization of this meeting, credit to that goes to many, but especially the Secretariat, to the Norwegian establishment that put all this together. Their accessibility efforts were super appreciated by the Dynamic Coalition on Accessibility and Disability. And of course, the participants are what make this meeting so valuable and so memorable, particularly the participants from the leadership panel, the MAG, and all of the other NRIs and interested parties who are here. This was a spectacularly good IGF, organized in record time, which leads me to wonder whether we should do 2 of these a year now. I'll leave that for you to consider for a moment, and then let's come back now to our stock taking.
Thank you very much, Vint. And yes, I just realized that I forgot. Yes, we do really have to thank the community and the participants. You are what makes the IGF what it is. Thank you. Give yourself a hand. So for this taking stock session, we are basically in a listening mode. We may respond to 1 or 2, but basically we're taking notes. And we're going to go back and see how we can implement, keep, improve, etc., what you tell us. So we have a number of microphones, I think 2. We've got, we're waiting for the lights to come on. Yes, we have one there. And we should have another one right there.
Yes.
Yes, so if you want to make an intervention, please stand behind any of those mics, and then we will alternate between the 2. And please, don't feel shy, and please keep your interventions to 2 minutes. And then I do know that some people may speak faster or slower than others. We'll make a slight adjustment, but please, around 2 minutes will be, well, let's keep it to 2 minutes, and we'll see how we go from there.
Identify themselves.
And can you please identify yourself and state your stakeholder group? It'll be interesting to know if this is your first time. If it is your first time, please let us know what you think as well. I'll give you extra seconds for that. But please, carry on. So we'll start from this end. Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name's Frances, and I'm part of YouthDig, the European Youth IGF. And seeing as we're taking stock today, I just wanted to say that I think initiatives like YouthDig is something that works really well in the precursor to IGF. It means that the kind of engagement young people can have is so much more meaningful because we understand the background, we've formulated messages that come, that are youth-led and youth-driven and bottom-up, so that we're developing these issues that are pertinent to us, so that when we come to something like the IGF, we already have these opinions formed, ideas about possible policy solutions, where there's a difference between regulation and freedom on the internet. So I would say that I'm grateful to YouthDig. I'm very glad that we also had the space today or this week to talk about these messages, so that the youth dialogue has been incredibly meaningful at the IGF. So I would say moving forward, this is my first IGF. Hopefully I come to more, but I would say that these initiatives are super important in maintaining a youth voice that is authentic, that is collaborative, and that means that this kind of involvement actually matters and isn't just a box-ticking exercise. I would also say what was very important at this IGF was that we had a dialogue where questions were encouraged by anyone who was attending, and I really appreciated it in panel discussions when it was reinforced that it's anyone who's listening who should contribute, because we all have something to say and we all have different perspectives, and whether we know the technical side or not, whatever our ideas might be, or our questions or our concerns, they're listened to. And as part of the messages from the youth, we particularly cared about content moderation, user controls, and also digital literacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well.
Yes, thank you, Secretary. My name is Wouter Naters van der Borgt. I represent the Dynamic Coalition on Internet Standards, Security and Safety. We had the opportunity to present our new report on the socio-economic implications of post-quantum encryption. I think that is going to be the topic of 2026. I heard the questions about quantum computing pop up in different sessions. What we've identified is exactly what the implications are if we do not get this right before the so-called quantum day, which is the day the first quantum computer actually works. And we have a time frame now to make sure that we have the security that we need in place. It's all in the report. You can find it on our website, dcis3coalition.org, or on the IGF website pretty soon at our DC page. The second comment I want to make is on the dynamic coalitions. I think we've started to organize ourselves in a far more structured way into clusters where we identify common topics. And that is something that we can build on for 2026. I think that, thank you. I think that the dynamic coalitions are at the core of what multi-stakeholderism is. Everybody can contribute, everybody can come up with ideas and bring them forward. Some do reports, others do meetings to explore future work, but we have impact, and that impact would make the impact of the IGF bigger if we are better integrated into the program. And we have a suggestion that we're working on, is to have some sort of a representation in the MAG, not as a MAG member, but on an equal level, so that we can integrate the program better with what we are doing. And I think that that's what I want to say. I've got 7 seconds. Ole Martin and the whole your team, I think you did a great, great job. And I want you to comment for it.
Okay, please.
Hello, my name is Ole Jacobson. I want to say to Vint that Ingvar and Paul would indeed be very proud if they were here. I worked for them from 1973 to all the way through 84. I went to high school here in Lillestrøm. I'm the editor and publisher of the Internet Protocol Journal, and I've been involved in internet technical stuff since those days. And that first ARPANET connection in 1973 is what made it all possible for me. So thank you very much. About this event, it's all a bit bewildering to me. I haven't been to one before, but it's certainly a good place to meet all kinds of very interesting people. Thank you.
Please.
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Kekeli Akuno, and I'm a person with visual impairment. I'm part of the ISO Ghana and also a member of the Dynamic Coalition on Accessibility and Disability. I just want to suggest that most of the discussions that are going on, I'm not really seeing the disability perspectives to it, because I've been to some of the sessions and sometimes I'm lost. If there can be a person with disability in most of the sessions so that our perspectives can be brought on board, then our voices can also be heard. And also, most of the sessions also do not have room for contributions and questions. So even if there is no disability perspective to it, maybe I would want to contribute or ask questions, but then there is no room for that. So I hope that the next IGF, there's going to be something done about that. Thank you.
Okay. Please.
Hi, I'm Bruna Santos. I'm a member of the Civil Society Stakeholder Group. Just wanted to start with a thank you, Chengetai, Carol, Ole, Martin, your whole team, the MAG, leadership panel. This was very well done. Thanks for bringing my childhood crush along to the IGF as well. Very happy, didn't get my good picture, but that was okay. Also takes a lot for the host country for taking all of the notes that Meg from last year passed along to you guys, like things like bathroom, accessibility, and some of the points. We know we can never be perfect, right? Because there's always going to be new demands and issues. But I did want to commend you guys on that. And just 2 comments about the event on itself. As much as I appreciate the sustainability tone, the name tags were like, they were lacking indeed. They are a good point for accessibility, for newcomers to know who they're talking to and so on. And even though many of us went creative and had them on the phones, it took us 3 to 4 days. So that was one thing. And the last point was about the high-level sessions. I think one of them maybe, we still had the civil society perspective lacking on the session, and I think this is the 20th anniversary of the IGF, and we can no longer afford to leave any stakeholder outside or out of these discussions and so on. But having said that, again, thanks a lot and congrats on the event.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Ponslete Leleji from the Gambian IGF. I wish to first thank Shengatai, Carol, and Ole Martin for a very wonderful organization. And I wish to thank Anya from the who coordinates the NRIs, for all the brilliant sessions we had. One suggestion is that during the opening ceremony, the role of the NRIs within this multi-stakeholder process, bottom-top, has been very important, and we should try to get one of the leading NRIs to speak during the opening ceremony. A good example, it could have been good to have our Brazilian colleagues at the opening to share the perspectives of the great work NRIs are doing at local level. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Jun Beck. I'm a co-founder of a youth privacy advocacy organization called Youth for Privacy. And it's my first time at the IGF. 3 points. First, in terms of accessibility of the meetings, whether it be on Zoom or having transcripts published, I think that was really amazing. And it allowed a lot of our participants, virtual participants, also take part. And on top of that, the accessibility of the panelists was also amazing. Everybody was willing to talk after the panels or during the panels and take questions, and that kind of really encouraged dialogue and collaboration. But the third part, which is related to that, is that since a lot of these meetings are on record and published online, I was wondering if it would be possible to also accommodate some closed sessions, some like only in-person only, where Chatham House rule applies, where we could like freely talk about some of the topics that might be considered sensitive or may express more personal opinions. So those kind of establishment of those kind of meetings would be appreciated. But And I just also want to highlight the fact that as a young person, it's very hard to find funding for attending IGF, and the funding always is an issue for international conferences. And I want to highlight Korean Internet and Security Agency that funded my trip to IGF. So there could be other funding sources, not only from the IGF, from the national governments, to encourage young people like me and us to attend IGF in person. So above all, thank you very much for this my first time in IGF. And I hope I'm not too spoiled because of the quality of the conference. I hope that the next year is also improved the quality as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Please.
Hello, everyone. I'm called Jolenta Rosa Fanui. I am a fellow from the Dynamic Coalition of Accessibility and Disability. This is my second year attending the IGF from Cameroon. I want to say that the sustainability of the accessibility of online tools and services and the empowerment of persons with disabilities still remains slow and is still a serious challenge. Well, while we plead on all stakeholders, the internet system, to play their part, we also want to plead that the IGF continues to play its role in improving digital accessibility online for all persons with disabilities to remain inclusive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please.
My name is Jana Feng, an 8-time attendee of the IGF.
Wow.
At this point, embarrassing to call myself a youth, but today I want to talk about youth participation. How many years have we been talking about it? Too many years. And yet here we are, still framing youth engagement primarily around capacity building, as if young people haven't already proven their readiness to contribute meaningfully to policy advocacy at all. The truth is, youth participation in internet governance remain at best tokenistic and more often structurally excluded. Why? Hosting a youth summit filled with top-down speeches from leadership is not cross-generational dialogue. Calling for youth inclusion while never invite a single youth representative to speak on leadership panel is not genuine co-creation. Just because youth community aren't institutionalized in the traditional model without titles like chairperson stamp on our name cards doesn't mean we lack leadership. We lead differently, but we lead nonetheless. Have we not tried to claim our seat at the table? We have. We build initiative, create platforms, host discussion, and shape narrative for youth and for the broader IG community. Go to talk to the youth leaders in your own country, your own regions. We have done all this even while struggling with limited resources and support. And yet, the system continues to set us up to fail, much like how a forum, when chronically underfunded, is doomed to underperform by design. Youth have long been cast into the role of the inexperienced, as perceived by many other stakeholders as lacking the skills, capacity, or knowledge to even be taken seriously. This perception alone has been enough to keep many of us on the sidelines. But to those in position of power, with titles, platform funding, decision-making authorities, I urge you, do not let your privilege cloud your judgment. Do not deflect accountability by blaming you for disengagement. Yes, we are digital natives. We didn't witness the birth of the IGF. Many of us weren't even born when the internet took its first steps, but that doesn't make our voices any less valid than any other people in this room. This year, multi-stakeholderism has taken center stage. It's been powerful to watch diverse actors rally behind this ideology, advocating for systemic change in a world long dominated by bilateral power structure. Yet, if you haven't used your institutional, generational, financial, or positional privilege, access, and influence to structurally include youth, even just within the IG ecosystem itself, then that, frankly, is a missed opportunity and a shame. Before I close, I would usually like to direct my thanks to all the senior leaders in the room, but today I want to thank every young person who worked tirelessly, often invisibly, often unpaid, for all the work that they have done and continue to do. I'm sorry if my 8 years of my hard work didn't move the system enough for you, but I believe in our next gen leaders, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, even Gen Beta. If I ever make it to the seat at the center of this room, I won't stay there. I will disassemble the stage and sit alongside each and every one of you because I believe in us and believe in what true multi-stakeholderism should look like. This is where my voice concludes. I will pass the baton of speaking true power
observe
to
the
all
time for everybody as well.
all the
We've
young
given you
leaders in the
double
room.
time.
And we don't have enough room, and I really hope that I'm really closing.
You
and I
can
hope
send
I
us a
finish it.
statement and we'll put it on the website.
I say this not to dismiss the effort that we have made.
But thank you for your statement. Please go ahead. And I'm sorry about that, but we have to be fair. If we give you 4 minutes, then we have to give everybody else 4 minutes, and then we'll never end. Please.
Thanks, Chengetai. Hello, my name is Thorsten Krause. I'm a political scientist and child rights researcher affiliated with the Digital Opportunities Foundation based in Berlin, Germany. And firstly, I would like to thank Ole Martin and the whole government of Norway for hosting this well-done IGF. And also, I would like to thank all the people of Norway, which really welcomed us with open arms and warmly. Thanks a lot for that. Also, I would like to congratulate all the dynamic coalition which is taking part in joint efforts for delivering 4 cluster sessions and 1 main session. I think that's an approach to further develop, and I would like to echo what he said on that. Thirdly, I appreciate that we had a second time a high-level session on child rights on the main stage after the IGF in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia last year. I think that's the place where child rights should take place. The issues around children and youth are too serious to discuss alone behind black curtains in a workshop. So I would encourage us all to make a tradition out of it and see also child rights next year on the main stage. And it could be also a way to support and promote the potential outcomes of the WSIS Plus 20 process as it described in the draft of the current element papers. I really appreciate how human rights and especially children's rights addressed already in this draft, but I would like to see that it's not just around protection of children, but it's also about provision and participation of children, as Jenna pointed out already. And so I would like to see the whole balance and the full set of child rights reflected in the elements paper. Thank you so much.
Please.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Kunle Olorundare. I'm from the civil society, and as a matter of fact, I'm the president of Internet Society, Nigeria chapter. First, I want to congratulate Chengetai, Ole Martin, and Carol for a good job well done. And let me start with the social event. I think we had top-notch, sessions. Going out, the cocktails and all of that. So I think we should give them a round of applause for that, And apart from that, thank you very much. Yeah, so apart from that, I would just want to talk about maybe the tokenization with respect to one particular event. I discovered that a lot of us were very interested in visiting that particular site for, I think, the internet, that's university, so to say. But unfortunately, some of us could not because we didn't get a slot. So I think that is something to look at. And secondly, I really want to mention the issue of timing with respect to, let's say, open forum. It seems as if we don't really have enough time. when it comes to open forum, because, you know, we have to engage with people on site and people online. So there is no enough time to engage the people online. So I think that's something to take a look at and probably review. Having said that, I think it's been a wonderful IGF, and thank you for a good job. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vint, please.
IGF Remote Hub.
Oh, IGF Remote Hub, sorry. Can the Remote Hub online? I'll just give it a 6 count, and then we'll go to the next one.
It's okay.
And I stole that phrase from Lynn, just to give attribution. Okay, please, next.
Ok. Je suis Abdou Fopa.
I'm Abdou Fopa, and I'm at the Internet Society Cameroon chapter. It's the first time for me traveling to an IGF. Why am I taking the floor? Well, we've been very inspired by Vinton. We are actually publishing a history of the internet in Cameroon, and we've been inspired by your work for doing that. One regret I'd like to express when it comes to the organization of the event. It took over 2 months to validate my registration to the IGF. It would have been great to have an earlier confirmation. Maybe a committee could confirm earlier, because when you don't have the financing to attend the IGF, it's very hard to get an invitation, and then it's difficult when it takes so long. I really hope you can take this into account, and we would like to have a committee working on that specific question. As I said, it's the first time I participate. I really hope to have other opportunities. This will allow me to bring this back to the internet community in Cameroon, all those innovations, and youth participation is really a key question. I really think youth should participate in this kind of event. And what we need is training. In our country, we have some youth who really want to participate, who want to know internet governance, but they need training for that.
Please.
Thanks for this space for feedback. I really appreciate that. My name is Vinicius Fortuna, and I'm a software engineer. I work on internet access, resilience, and privacy at Jigsaw, which is part of Google. Hey, Vin. And I really appreciate IGF. It was my first IGF, and I have several ideas and got inspired, and it's not going to be my last one, so I'm coming back. But as a software engineer, I was kind of like surprised to not see other engineers here. You see like a lot of like lawyers and policy people. Like, where are the product managers? Where are the engineers? Like, those are the people that build the technologies that we are all talking about here, right? And removing like ITF and ICANN, like I didn't see any other engineers. So I think it's really important to bring them to the table, because they can give you insights on like what is possible and what is not, and also come up with new ideas once they understand the real like world problems. And I also know that like engineers don't really sometimes know about these issues, or they don't care, they're focused on their problems. So we need to put incentives in places for both the individuals and the organizations to bring the builders to events like this. So that's my feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Shall we try the Remote Hub again? Just give it, let me put it this way. We'll try the Remote Hub after the next speaker. We'll have the next speaker first, and then we'll come to the Remote Hub. So please.
Thank you. Hello and namaste, everyone. This is Vivek Silwal from Youth IGF Nepal. I want to thank our organizer, IGF Secretariat, and the government of Norway for the amazing discussions on how we can make the internet better tomorrow. I'm really motivated to see youth participation, organize the session, and being active in the discussions. But I have a concern from a global South perspective. You know, while we are sitting in this room discussing about making how internet better for tomorrow, there's still more than 2 billion people who are not connected to the internet. You know, there was a period of digitalization, there was a period of pandemic where a sudden digitalization happened. People needed to connect it to internet to access any service. But even during that time, we are not able to bring them on board. So there are some hindrances why we are not able to bring them with us in this room. There has been more diversity. So while we are moving forward with the discussion of AI governance, platform governance, we are moving forward with the WSIS principles, I think it is still intact to bring digital divide in the decades to come, how to connect the unconnected. You know, we are talking about connectivity, but is it really meaningful? What about the affordability? What about the rural connectivity? And what about reliability in the global South, in the developing nations? So this is my request to all of you. In the days to come, we need to have a platform on how we can bring those other people and have more field seats in the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we're going to go online. Please. The remote hub.
Alors, c'est l'heure du bilan de l'IGF 2025 et je remercie particulièrement les organisateurs. Désolé, monsieur le délai, mais nous croyons que c'est tien, éducateur de l'éducation.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Ah, d'accord. Et c'est une réussite déjà parce que c'est pour la première fois que moi je découvre l'IGF. Et ce serait le cas pour bon nombre de jeunes africains. Et je vous remercie parce que c'est une réussite.
The interpreters are awfully sorry, but the sound will not allow for interpretation. We're awfully sorry for that.
Déjà des points focaux nationaux pour que beaucoup de jeunes aient accès à l'Internet et comprennent beaucoup mieux les impacts liés à l'Internet et au développement du numérique. Alors, pour quelques suggestions, j'aimerais relever du côté technique parce qu'à des moments donnés, nous n'avons pas eu sur le forum était plus élevé, que l'interprétation puisse être plus relevée, que le son du plateau, ce serait mieux. Et deuxième chose, on ne peut pas parler de numérique en Afrique sans parler de l'énergie. Parce qu'à des moments donnés, nous avons raté quelques sessions à cause de l'énergie électrique qui se coupe par moment. Et ça fait partie des réflexions que l'IGF aussi peut mener pour pouvoir rehausser son impact sur le continent africain. Alors, contrairement à deux intervenantes qui ont intervenu par rapport à la question de l'handicap, moi, je suis particulièrement émue que la protection de l'enfance a été au cœur des débats. C'est une réussite.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please.
Pacific greetings, Talofalava. I'm Sarai Tevita from Samoa, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity and the travel support given or granted to me to attend this 20th annual IGF in Lillestrup, Norway. As a participant from the Pacific, from Samoa, the small island states, this support has been invaluable in enabling my physical presence and active participation, like yesterday, in this crucial global disclosure. Appreciated Shanghai, Carol, Ole Martin, Vensurf, and everyone for this great opportunity. My taking stocks for this Global IGF as my first time participation is to continue or sustainably ensure the robust representation from the seats, from the Pacific, so that we can maximize these opportunities. It also is to highlight the unique challenges that we face. As you know, that the seats, geographically, economically, digitally, that we are vulnerable. But being participated and attended this important event, it gives me another way or an opportunity to share when I get back home that there is another world out here. We're not isolated. We're not, left behind. We have to go with what is available, but keep more advocating the opportunity from here. We've heard the best practices. Keep showcasing those best practices and share with us, and building more partnerships. Thank you for the opportunity that I managed to meet some incredible people like the ISOC and the K-Diplo that we have projects they're working with. So from the PIC ISOC or the Pacific Islands chapter, very appreciated for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Please.
Hello, this is Advocate Umar Khan Utmanzai from Pakistan, a practicing lawyer at Peshawar High Court and working for the digital rights in Pakistan. With the open mic, I would like to appreciate and thank Norway for the facilitation, because at the last IGF, at the open mic, I raised some concern regarding the visa for the Europe, because from the Pakistan or the Asia, it's quite difficult to get visa. But just because of the great facilitation from the Norway, more than 15 of my friends have got visa and have made it to the Norway. So a big clap for the Norway for the facilitation to the young guys. And because for a country like Pakistan, where 64% of the population belong to the young persons, and I'm so grateful that more than 15 young guys from my province are here. When in 2019, I made it to the first IGF, I believe I was the first or the second one from my province to the IGF. So I'm so happy to be accompanied by 15 young guys from my province. Thank you, Norway. With this, I will also request the Secretariat to continue this wonderful forum of discussion regarding the internet, because I believe this is to be the decision to be taken whether the IGF to be continued or not. When it was started in 2006, how many people were on internet? Now today in 2025, how many increase has been made on the internet usage? So I believe this forum is important. And to keep this digital globe safe and productive for everyone, I believe these discussions and this forum need to be continued. Thank you, Norway. See you next time in some other part of the globe. Thank you, and see you next time. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, please, go ahead. Yeah.
C'est Dikolbaïbe Kennedy. Je suis tchadien, je représente.
Hi, I'm from Chad. I represent IGF Central Africa. And we have a contribution to make in IGF Central Africa's name. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, distinguished delegates, dear partners from the Internet governance community. We are now at the end of hard-working days. We have been very inspired, and our delegation from Central Africa would really like to start by thanking all the stakeholders who have contributed to the success of this 20th IGF here in Oslo. We would like to start by thanking the Kingdom of Norway. Thank you for welcoming us and for warmly welcoming us here. Thank you to the United Nations, thanks to the Secretariat, and thank you to all partners, all organizations involved. We have academia involved, and We have made this forum richer. I really think now that our competences have been strengthened. We have better digital services that are possible thanks to those discussions. We can now guarantee a certain transparency, and what we need to do is to co-construct the next years forward. The digital world should not be a factor of domination. This should be a tool for social justice. I really think that Africa is ready now. We are ready to play our part. We all have a shared responsibility, and we are willing to play our part. I am sure that we can make internet a public good for the best of the people in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Please.
Hello everyone, I'm Aisha from Pakistan, a High Court lawyer and a dedicated human rights defender advocating for women's rights. I'm so happy to share that this is first time IGF I'm attending. This platform has been an incredible source of global exposure and inspiration. For me, it's more than an opportunity. It's just been a beacon of hope for countless young women in Pakistan where such chances are rare. I'm committed to applying the insights I have gained here to empower more young women in my country, working towards creating a safer and more inclusive digital space. After all, access to the internet is a right that belongs to everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Norway. And thank you, IGF. Goodbye, and see you next year.
We'll have the next speaker from the queue, and then we'll go to the IGF Ghana Hub. So please.
Good afternoon. I'm Nigel Casimir from the Caribbean Telecommunications Union. I didn't actually plan to speak, but I was inspired by Sarai from the Pacific. And I think it made sense for me to endorse, number one, and thank the Secretariat for supporting our participation with travel support and so on, but also to identify the value, and this was said by a previous speaker, of the dynamic coalitions. There is the dynamic coalition on SIDS, and through that medium, we in the Caribbean have been cooperating and working with the Pacific and also Indian Ocean states to share experiences and build our capacity and our capabilities in terms of internet governance. So for the past 2 years, we've had a problem getting space at the IGF for the DC SIDS meeting. So I want to re-emphasize the value of the dynamic coalitions, the DC SIDS in particular, and would urge the Secretariat to continue supporting them. I was also very pleased to hear the leadership team supporting the value of the NRIs, right? I think through the NRIs and things like the DCs is where the rubber meets the road between policy and implementation. So that deserves the support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nigel. We'll now go to the Ghana Hub. Please go ahead. It seems you're muted. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm Stephanie from IGF Ghana Hub US. And then I have this question. It is, how can internet governance frameworks better support digital health infrastructure and equitable access to telemedicine in developing countries, especially for rural and underserved communities? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mute again.
You're muted again. If you could unmute, please.
The 23rd. I'm very grateful for the opportunity given. It has been an impactful journey with the IGF from the 23rd. I have a suggestion to make. I would like to suggest that next time there will be open opportunities for us to come in person for better understanding of the various topics discussed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And can you please also send your comments in so that we have a clear record of them? Thank you. But thank you very much, and thank you very much for participating from Ghana. Thank you. This way, okay, thank you.
Hello, this is Jasmine from Hong Kong. I truly appreciate and thankful for having this platform here, and I think it's truly bottom-up and multi-stakeholder driven, because the music night and everything has come back, and we have more toilets this year. It's my third IGF here. And I just want to also echo to my colleague Jenna, previously talking about the meaningful youth participation and its role in the strategic contributing to this IGF. So on top of a request on considering youth on leadership panel, I have a more ambitious thought to really urge your consideration to include youth as really a standalone stakeholder group on the map as well. Because if it's a really like multi-stakeholder group, right, then seeing those youth have been putting effort on driving their own grassroots community and etc., that should be a serious consideration and discussion ongoing. And another thing coming from Global North community, I noticed that there are needs from, needs from Global South as well, but I just want to pin it out because most of the funding, maybe it's controversial, but I noticed that most of funding exclude youth from Global North. So as a person from that community, and you also know that even in Global North community, there are still poverty disparity as well. So not everyone is rich enough and affordable to coming here. I myself, this time, I self-fund myself to be here, and it's actually a lot of financial barrier here, but I truly value my participation here. That's why I make my effort here as well. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Michel Chonan, je suis le secrétaire exécutif du Forum.
Hello, I'm the executive secretary for the Internet Governance Forum, and I would like to thank the United Nations, the Kingdom of Norway, and everyone who has participated into the success of this IGF. The electronic participation is today a silent crisis with environmental consequences and societal consequences. Durability on these strategies needs to lean on changing the behaviors, especially starting from education. We advocate for responsible waste management from the primary school. It is a strategic choice that we have to make in order to make an impact. So we need to seep this into young people's mind in order to have a multiplying effect with their parents, their family, and to ensure durability. It is incredibly important to include digital governance in education. It will help bringing growth to the economy. Also, it will bring some improvement in health, and tomorrow starts today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The queues are now closed, so you three are the last. No more people. I see we do have an online. We'll go to the online after the next intervention here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, it's Ms. Adiksha Silwal, Internet Society Youth Ambassador for this year, and I am coming from the Nepal, and this is my very first time attending IGF. Well, being in here, listening to all the session talking about the AI, trustworthy internet, and representing Nepal is some sort, I find misfit to be here in this discussion. In Nepal, we still have half a population out of internet. We are trying really hard to have a reliable internet connectivity, trying our best to have laws that is more respecting towards rights of the people, freedom of people, but government is working to make it more controlling. So all this multi-stakeholderism and coming from the Nepal, I do find somehow we need to work really hard in a global south to make more open and transparent internet. And for this opportunity, I would really like to thank all of you for this big platform. And as I said, this is my very first time attending any IGF in person. My expectations are already really high. The Norway government did a really good job, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we really have to rush. So online, quickly, we'll just give it a shot. If it doesn't work, we'll leave it. Okay, next, please.
Dominique Azamassieu, WCC. This is also my first IGF, and I want to also extend my thanks. This has been a fantastic week for meeting new people, hearing new voices, getting new perspectives. If I had one suggestion for what I hope would be my next IGF, if there was more support for serendipity, networking, there was a suggestion maybe to get back physical badges, anything that can help meeting people you wouldn't expect outside of the speakers. It's easy to identify speakers because they're on the panels, but there are so many great people around here that would be harder to detect outside of those formal occasions. That would be my request to the organizers.
Last speaker, point form as quickly as you can. I'm so sorry about that.
No worries, thank you. Wow, what an eventful week. I'm really thankful, number one, to Mr. Winton, TCP/IP, and now IGF, and we all are benefited. On the other hand, I would be very thankful to the Norwegian government and the IGF organizers. It is such an information-loaded and overloaded platform, and I wish it will continue. It was fourth of mine with some gaps. And in the last, I will just give my introduction. My name is Asim Adil, and I'm a digitalization consultant, especially in the area for digital for development, working for German Development Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. We'll go to the chairs quickly for any final words. Carol, no? No? Vint, any final?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Well, I took copious notes. I hope everyone else did. This was a super useful discussion. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward, of course, to next year in the hope that WSIS Plus 20 will tell us that we should continue our work.
Yes. Thank you very much, Vint. And he speaks for us all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Those of you who didn't make it, can you just please send us your comments and we'll post them on the website. Thank you. They're just now going to prepare the stage for the final, for the closing ceremony.